All right. Do you even know why you fail to reach your full potential? Do you know why you are not able and you are stuck in the same stage in life and you're unable to move forward? You're unable to go to the next level no matter how hard you try and no matter what you attempt to do. Well, you probably think, oh, maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I am not working hard enough like other people. Maybe I'm too lazy, or maybe I'm just not special enough. Maybe other people just have this special quality that I don't have, and that's why I'm not able to reach my full potential and become amazing like them. But actually, the real reason is none of that. The real reason is the fact that deep down, you don't think you are all that. Deep down, you don't believe you're good enough to be reaching your full potential. You don't believe you're good enough, period. So basically, the thing that stops you from reaching your fullest potential is yourself. It's just the plain old good old self. Is yourself through your mind and all the beliefs that your mind holds about yourself and about your abilities, and all those lies that your mind tells you about yourself, that of course you end up believing because it's right there, is your mind. Your mind can't lie, right? The truth is that all those negative limiting beliefs, they rule your mind and they end up ruling your life too. And because deep down you don't think you are worthy and deserving of a better life for yourself, you settle, you stay stuck where you are, you can't progress through life, and you keep telling yourself the same old story of, oh, like this is just how life it is for me, that this is all the cards that life dealt me. But that story that you have been telling yourself is not real, but it becomes real when you start believing it. And all those negative beliefs are actually the reason why you stay in the same place. They are the reason why you stay stuck, is the reason why you can't progress through life and why you will never be able to reach your full potential. And you're basically gonna do the same thing year after year, and you won't be able to become the person that you dream that you could be. But don't worry, I got you. There is a way to get out of this, and it's not too late. It's time for you to start realizing that what keeps you stuck is not the lack of talent, is not the lack of intelligence, is not the lack of opportunities, but it's actually your own mind. Take a moment to acknowledge it and accept it, because this is the biggest truth that you will ever hear in your life. Everything good and everything bad that comes to you and your life is through your mind. Okay, accept the responsibility and let's move forward. You're basically right now in a stage in your life where you are trapped by your own fear and you are trapped by your own self-doubt. And you keep asking yourself questions like, oh, okay, what if I fail? What will people say about me for failing or for trying even? And you just end up getting paralyzed by the thought. You're paralyzed and you're unable to move forward and even take an action by the mere thought of failure and the mere thoughts and limiting beliefs that you have in your mind. And then, of course, there is this limiting belief, this belief that is so ingrained in you that you don't even realize it, that it's there. And it's the belief that, oh, success is not meant for people like me. I'm not that special. Who am I to think that I am able to achieve success in life? Why would success come to me? And because of that belief, you don't even try. You accept the mediocrity of your life and you take it as your story. You take it as that's just what life has given me. I just mediocre. This is just my life, right? So you end up not setting any big goals because deep down you have already convinced yourself that it's impossible for you to achieve them and to have something better in your life. So why bother? But even if you do take a step forward and you are like, okay, let me just try if maybe I'm wrong, and you do take a step forward, just because you have all those limiting beliefs in your head, your actions will not take you anywhere. Because you have all those beliefs, you're gonna self-sabotage. Your mind will find a way to pull you back to your old self and to make your limiting beliefs true, your reality. Your mind is going to make you to procrastinate, is going to make you second guess yourself, and is going to make you give up the second that something goes wrong. And it's basically like your own mind is working against you. And it's telling you, see, I told you you couldn't do it. So why did you even try? And that's exactly why you are stuck. It's not your circumstances, it's not your lack of talent, it's not your lack of intelligence, it's not your lack of anything. What is holding you back is your own beliefs about what you think you deserve and about what you think you are capable of. Hi guys, I'm Adriana. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you one of the most life-changing lessons that I have learned in my life, and that has literally changed my life for the better. And using that lesson, I was able to finally get out of my own way and stop holding me back from reaching my own full potential. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can do this too. So I'm going to teach you how to identify your negative limiting beliefs. And once you master this lesson, you will finally be able to understand what's been holding you back and how you can actually break free so you can create your best self and you can create your best life. All right, so let's get into it. So there was a point in my life where I felt exactly like that, limited by my own mind. I felt completely stuck and paralyzed and limited by my own limiting beliefs and my limiting mindset. How ironic is that, right? And no matter how hard I worked towards my goals and what I wanted, it just seemed that I was going in circles basically, and that there wasn't any real progress towards them. So basically, I had so much resistance because I wasn't on my side. I was forcing my way through action, but I didn't actually have any belief behind that action. I didn't believe in my mind that this will actually work. And this really sucked because I really wanted so much more for myself, and I knew that I had a lot of potential, but I just couldn't figure out why I wasn't making any progress. And of course, I did what most people do in these circumstances. I blamed my circumstances. I made myself the victim. And let me tell you right now, that's the worst thing you could do, because you basically give away all your power and you let yourself just be this innocent leaf in the air that is just taken away by the wind and doesn't have any capabilities to stand against the wind. So don't do that. Take your power back. The hardest part about this whole thing was self-doubt. Every time I thought about trying something new or making progress in something that I was doing, I will hear this voice in my head that would say, what's the point? What's the point? You're not good enough. You're gonna fail. Just save your energy. Don't even bother. And it was really exhausting because I kept holding myself back and procrastinating and then beating myself up for procrastinating and for not making any progress. So it just felt like I was stuck in this never-ending cycle. So at the time I was reading different books about what I was going through, like the limiting beliefs, how the mind is like the biggest obstacle. And the shift didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen like all of a sudden like this. It happened gradually. And honestly, I think that's the best way to do it, because it's the only way that it makes it really last. Because your subconscious is able to work on an idea for quite some time. This allows your subconscious mind to digest that idea, to accept that idea, and to understand it better. I think that's the best way to do it, and it's the way that makes it last, because you give your subconscious mind the time to mull over this concept and be able to digest it, to understand it better, and to finally accept it as your new truth and your new belief. Anyway, I remember that what made it really click for me was reading this random quote somewhere. So the quote said, "You don't see the world as it is, but you see the world as you are." And this really clicked for me, and it made me realize that the reason why I wasn't moving forward wasn't because of my circumstances, but it was because of my own beliefs and the way that I saw the world and the way that I saw myself. So basically, I realized that I had been letting all these negative, untrue beliefs and thoughts to dictate my life. And that's when I decided to face them. I realized that I need to dig deep down and to figure out what are these beliefs that are ruling and are running my life, basically, so I could start rewriting them. So the biggest lesson that I learned was that the only thing standing in my way between me and the life that I wanted was me. Once I identified my limiting beliefs, I realized and I saw in real time how much power they had over my actions and over my decisions. And the moment I started challenging those beliefs, literally everything changed. I stopped doubting myself, I took action, and I started seeing real results. And the reason why this worked was because for the first time my mind and my beliefs were not working against me, but they were working with me. They were working in my favor. So this was a really key lesson in my life that really transformed and shifted my perspective and my mindset in everything. And it made me realize how much responsibility and accountability we hold in our literally head over our life. And these are also some other breakthroughs that I realized through this lesson. I realized that your beliefs shape your reality. Okay, and I know you probably heard this before, but you need to understand this and understand the size of the importance of this statement. The way you think about yourself and the way you think about your abilities is what is going to create yourself, and it's what is going to create your abilities. And at the end is what is going to create your life. If you believe that you are not good enough, you will unconsciously make choices that align and reflect that belief. And it will create a reality where you're not good enough. And you're gonna see people reflecting that back to you. The moment you realize that your beliefs, they are not facts, but they're actually just stories that you have been telling yourself, the moment you realize that, you can accept this, you can start rewriting these beliefs, and you can start creating a new reality that actually serves you. Awareness is the first step. Okay, you cannot fix what you're not aware of. Most people are so used to their negative self-talk that they don't even notice it anymore. They don't think that it's something wrong going on there. I'm begging you, don't let it become your normal. Because all these negative limiting beliefs about yourself, all they do is to make you more insecure and more limited about yourself. And so you are going to become very judgmental and very critical of not only yourself but of others. And so it's just going to make you a very bitter person that nobody really wants to be around. You're gonna become a hater, and I really will hate to see you going down that way, because it's very hard to come back from that. I want you to believe in yourself so much that you are literally pouring out of yourself so much love, not only for you but for others too, because this is literally a cycle. So it's very crucial that you start paying attention to your inner dialogue, the way that you speak to yourself. And when you do that, you're going to be able to catch those moments where you think, oh, I can't do that, oh, I'm not good enough for this, oh, I'm going to fail. And when you catch them, just become aware of them. That's all you need to do for now. I'm telling you, awareness is the foundation of change. Once you're able to click and see that moment, you're able to catch yourself immediately and be like, oh, that's what I think. That's when I think of this thing. That's the thing that triggers these thoughts. So, oh, okay, I don't actually believe this. And you're gonna go through the process that I'm gonna give you now. But the first step is always awareness, because you can't change something that you're not aware of. You can't change something that you haven't accepted as wrong in the first place. A really big breakthrough of this was realizing that fear is normal, but it just doesn't mean that you should allow this to be a stop sign and to stop you from moving forward. Having all these scary emotions of fear and feeling afraid to do stuff, it's normal. It's very normal part of the human experience, and it can make you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't take this step, or maybe I shouldn't go and do this, because if I feel this fear, maybe I'm in danger, maybe something bad will happen. But fear doesn't mean that you're in danger. It doesn't mean that you are actually going to fail and that you're not ready and that you can't go and do that because, oh, if I feel this fear, maybe it's intuition. Fear is normal, but it doesn't mean any of that. All it means is that you are just stepping out of your comfort zone. You are stepping into new territory where you have no experience and you have no knowledge of, so you don't know how to cope with this. But it doesn't mean that you're not ready for this new experience. It doesn't mean that you're not able to handle it and become and come out of it stronger. So you have to accept that you are coming out of your comfort zone and say, oh, that's okay. That's great actually, because out of my comfort zone, that's where growth happens. And so instead of letting that fear paralyze you and stop you from moving forward, I want you from now on to use it as a sign that you are in the edge of transformation, that you're one step before something meaningful in your life being created and being changed. So you shouldn't see it as something bad. You should change and flip it in your mind as something actually positive. And once I realized that, wait, that's great. I shouldn't let this thing stop me. I should just let it motivate me, that I'm actually becoming, I'm facing a situation that is going to allow me to grow and get out of my comfort zone and become a new, better version of myself. I also realized through this that limiting beliefs are learned, but just because they are learned, it doesn't mean that they are permanent. The beliefs that basically are holding you back right now, they didn't come from nowhere. You weren't born with them. They came from experiences, they came from conditioning from your society, from your family, and from things that you were told when you were younger. Maybe you were told, or maybe you heard them about other people, and so now they scare you. But just because these limiting beliefs are learned doesn't mean that they can't be unlearned. Realizing that you can unlearn the limiting beliefs gives you a lot of power, and it gives you basically the power to choose the beliefs that you want to have, beliefs that will empower you, and not beliefs that were just given to you and forced down on your throat and that actually just limit you. Also, one of the biggest breakthroughs that I had was realizing that action breaks the cycle of self-doubt. The quickest way to challenge your limiting beliefs is by taking any action. No matter how small that action is, just taking an action. So for example, if you believe that you are a shy person, you are introverted, and you don't like speaking in front of big crowds or medium crowds or whatever, just take one small action by sharing your thoughts in front of 1 to 2 people. And every time you do that, you reinforce to yourself that, oh, actually, I'm not that shy. Actually, I'm not that introverted. Actually, I am able to share my thoughts and I'm not afraid of that. And each time you do that, each time you take this action, you basically make that limiting belief weaker, and you prove to yourself that you are capable and that that limiting belief is lying to you. You need to understand that failure is feedback, and it's not final. Failure is not endgame, okay? A lot of people let the fear of failure stop them. Not even failure itself, just the fear of failure. They let that fear of failure stop them from just going after the things they want. But what they don't understand is that failure isn't the end. Failure is not endgame, and it's actually part, a necessary part of the process. Failure is there to be a teacher and to teach you what you have been doing wrong so you can learn and you can adjust and you can grow through that experience to become the person that you want to, that has the capabilities and is able to do your end goal. If your goal, for example, is to go to the gym consistently and knowing how to do different exercises, know the proper form, know all the facts and whatever, when you're gonna go to the gym, you're going to fail hard. You're not gonna know how to properly do the exercises. But just by failing them, it doesn't mean that you can't keep going to the gym anymore. It just means that this failure is teaching you that you need to adjust your form so you can do it properly and be able to get the results that you want to get at the end of the day. So when you stop seeing failure as something to avoid at all costs because your ego is too fragile to get hit by that failure, and when you start seeing it as a necessary part of the process and as something that is expected, then I promise you, you're going to become unstoppable because you're not going to let the thing that makes 99% of people stop and quit to make you one of them. And finally, you need to understand that your story is yours to rewrite. It's your story, so it's your responsibility to write it in the way that you want it to be written. The stories that you have been telling yourself until now, the story that, oh, I'm not good enough, or this is how just life it is for me, these stories are not set in stone. You can actually choose a new narrative, a narrative that empowers you, and a narrative that aligns with the life that you actually want to create. And that power to change and choose your story, it has always been there for you. But now you are aware that you have it and you're aware of how to use it. So now it's your time to use it and use it in your favor. So let's see how you can do this practically in your life. So the first step to breaking free is to identify your limiting beliefs. So take out a piece of paper and write down the negative limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. And ask yourself, what do I believe about my abilities? What do I believe about success? And what do I believe about my worth? When you ask these questions and when you start answering them, you're gonna start noticing some patterns. And as I said, awareness alone is very powerful. So once you have identified your negative beliefs, now you need to challenge them. So what you're gonna do here is for every belief, you're going to ask, is this really true? And then you're going to ask, what evidence do I actually have that proves this limiting belief wrong? And once you do this, you're going to replace the old limiting belief with a new positive, empowering one. So for example, instead of the negative belief of I'm not good enough, you are going to replace it with the belief that I am capable and I'm learning every day. And what you're gonna do now is you are going to repeat this until this becomes your new truth. And at the beginning, I warn you that your subconscious mind is going to tell you, wow, this is so cringe. Oh, wow, I don't believe this. What are you telling me right now? No. It's gonna make fun of you, okay? I want you to expect that and be ready for that because it's going to happen. But this doesn't mean that you should stop doing that. I want you to keep reinforcing this belief, keep telling this belief to yourself, and gradually your subconscious mind is going to start accepting it. At the beginning it's gonna be like no, this is cringe. Then it's going to be like, oh, maybe this is right, maybe I am worthy. And finally, your subconscious mind is gonna fully embrace it and it's gonna fully accept it. It's gonna be like, you know what? Hell yeah, of course I'm worthy. Of course I deserve the best. I am capable. I am worthy. I do believe I deserve the best in the world for me. So it's gonna go from hell no to hell yeah. You have to be ready for this common pitfall that makes most people fail this process, is that they give up. Okay, they expect this change to happen overnight by just saying some new beliefs to themselves, and then they expect this to just happen magically. Another common pitfall is that you can't expect perfection overnight. Most probably than not, you're going to fall back into your old habits and into your old ways, and your old self limiting beliefs are going to rise up again. But I want you to be prepared for them, and I want you to accept them and be okay with that. Okay, when this happens, the key here is to catch yourself when this happens and to keep going, because you need to remind yourself that change is a process and is not an instant fix. So my advice is to start small. Okay, identify one limiting belief that you have and start challenging it, start reframing it, because when you're able to prove to yourself that this works with one belief, then you're gonna have more conviction and more assurance toward any other limiting beliefs that you have that maybe are even bigger than the belief that you have proved to yourself. So take that one belief, challenge it, rephrase it, and take action towards it. And no matter how small it is, take one action that aligns with a new belief that you want to embrace. And of course, as with everything, progress is going to come with consistent effort. For me, it took me some time to rephrase my limiting beliefs, because of course I didn't just have one limiting belief. As most people do, we have more than one, we have multiple, and of course you can't change them all overnight. So you need to take the time to, as I said, identify the limiting belief first, and then when that limiting belief pops up, immediately become aware of it and replace it with the new positive belief that you want to adopt. That way, your actions afterwards are going to be aligned with the new positive belief. You're going to see yourself for the first time doing the things that you said you will do, and actually heading towards your goals with more ease, and you're gonna see that progress towards reaching your full potential, and you're going to start getting there faster than you have ever done before. So this is your reminder that the only thing that stands in your way between you and your dream life, between you and your full potential, is you and also the story that you have been telling yourself. And now you know that, you have this knowledge, and you also have the tools on how to change that story for good. So don't let your limiting beliefs rule your life for one more day. Start today, start small, stay consistent and persistent, because that's very important, and you will watch how everything in your life starts to shift. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.